All right, let's talk how to style hats. Why, hello, my love. So I received a request to do a video on styling hats, and you said that you purchase a lot of hats, but you're not quite certain how to style them, and so I'm gonna kind of talk you through some of my little tips and tricks on styling hats. First thing I have to say, and this is going to be the thing that no one wants to hear, the first thing you have to evaluate is whether or not you have the right head shape for a hat. Not everybody has the right head shape for a hat. So the thing is, like, sometimes your head just isn't shaped well for a hat, and so hats are just like never gonna look good on you. And then other times, like, some hats are gonna look better on you than other hats, and so you just kind of have to know whether or not, like, you have a good, you know, shaped head for a hat. And you got to know what hat looks best on the head that you have. So some styles are going to look better on certain heads. I know that's not like probably the most like inclusive thing to say or whatever, but I feel like you kind of have to start the discussion there, otherwise I'm kind of setting you up for disappointment. So I have a bunch of hats sitting here on the floor, and I'm gonna walk you through the hats. I'm gonna show you different outfits I've worn with the hats and whatever else, and just kind of help you get a sense on how to style hats. Okay, so the first hat style I have to talk about is the voluminous, kind of big, large hat that is quite structured. These hats are almost probably what I'd call like pancake hats, because the top of them is quite flat, as you can see up here, and the brim is really, really wide, and then you wear it kind of at this angle. So if I were to tip it a little bit more like that, you know, you wear it kind of at this angle, so it gives you this really great kind of ladylike look. I have always found that hats like this look really, really great when there's more volume that extends at the bottom of your outfit. So think Audrey Hepburn in My Fair Lady, and that scene where she walks in and she has on that big hat. The whole dress is fitted, but at the bottom there's volume, there's interest, it kind of flares out. This is where I always think that these hats go best, is when you have volume on the bottom. So I like to wear them with big voluminous skirts. I like to wear them with, you know, skirts that may be kind of fitted at the hip but then flare out as they go down and have a bit of fun. That's where I think that the hats like this, these big hats like this, do their best. They really, really shine. Now, another style of this hat is the more floppy version of this hat. As you can see, it kind of like, can you still see my face? Right? You know, again, this is a hat where you do well with volume, a bigger skirt. This is particularly a hat where it's more floppy like this. I really like to do fitted at the top, fitted down the hips, and then big, you know, fun by like in the bottom of the skirt or the dress. So that's where it gets kind of flowy and kind of crazy at the bottom. I find that that looks super, super well. A hat like this doesn't have as much structure, so you have to bring that structure into the outfit, but the outfit can't just be totally and completely straight. Then the hat looks a little bit mismatched. So really thinking about it like that, a hat like this, more so than the really firm structured one, this one you just need a big kind of any sort of volume at the bottom. This one you absolutely have to have structure at the top and almost through the fitted hips, and then get the volume in the lower part of the outfit. So this kind of hat, I think, is probably the most versatile out of all of the hats I'm going to show you. This is a great hat generally for most of your summer dresses. Okay, so this hat ties in the back. It is from a French brand, and the thing about this hat is that it's not too big and it's not too narrow. So you can wear it with Bermuda shorts almost. A hat like this would look great with dresses. A hat like this good with skirts. Generally, almost anything it looks good with. And then of course the bow in the back is something that's very chic, so that's why it goes really well, kind of dress up an outfit any outfit really. Okay, next variety of that kind of same kind of hat would be this one. Again, kind of medium, not necessarily wide, straw, and again it has the flat top, but the difference is it doesn't have like that kind of triangle shape at the top. Instead, just straight across the brim. This is the type of hat that is going to go really great with shorts. This can also go nicely with dresses. This is, again, a very versatile hat. It can go with a lot of the things that are in your wardrobe. Next up we have, I don't know what hat to call this. This to me is like a Tom Sawyer hat. That's how I always think about it. A hat like this is more tricky. So the bigger hats are trickier, the tinier hats are trickier. And they're trickier for obviously different reasons. So the reason why a hat like this is a bit tricky is because you really have to think about proportions with a hat like this. So if you have a really big dress, a hat like this generally isn't going to look that great on the dress, because it's just going to be, it's going to overwhelm. Instead, this type of hat really does require not necessarily an outfit that's very fitted, because something very fitted also isn't necessarily going to balance out the hat that much. It requires something that just kind of doesn't, you know, squeeze your body, but does accentuate your curves. It highlights them. Fitted, but not too fitted. I feel like that is a really tough descriptor. So I like to wear this type of hat with summer dresses, with like ones that aren't too clean, aren't kind of too big, but also don't have a bunch of like ruching and other things like that, because I think it can become a bit too much for a hat like this. This hat in particular, I think is a bit trickier to do with shorts. I think it looks better with dresses, like the right dresses, or two-piece like skirt sets. And it can be worn in more casual situations, but it can also go for something a bit more elevated as well. Last hat option is this one, my tried and true baby. This is the hat, you know, I think that is, again, really great with shorts. Okay, I think that this is a hat where it shines with shorts. It shines for travel because it's easy to kind of pack. I like this kind of hat. I don't wear it that much anymore, mainly because I don't wear shorts that much anymore. But I think hats like this look really nice and really cute with shorts. Also, a hat like this, because the hat is a bit smaller, a hat like this would also go really nice when you're wearing mini skirts. So there you have it. Those are my quick rules on how I choose hats, how I style hats, how I pair hats. As with everything I've said today, it's really about proportion and about thinking about like the setting of your outfit, like where you're going. So if you're wearing a shorter outfit and you're gonna have more leg exposed, then you don't want some big hat, because that's gonna make your outfit look unbalanced. You want a smaller hat. Whereas if you have a long midi skirt and you have lots of volume, then a bigger hat is okay, because that compensates for that. And with each of the styles, it's really about realizing what looks best on your head, the shape of your head, and then also with the clothes that you already own. So if most of what you own are like slightly oversized clothing, then you're gonna want to go with hats that aren't necessarily oversized, but also aren't necessarily super close to the head, right? You want something that kind of helps balance everything out. And I hope that the images that I've shown you has helped give you some ideas on how exactly you want to think through hats, wearing hats, and styling hats. So with that said, let me know if you have any more styling questions. I'll talk to you later. Peace out. Ciao, ciao.